front of me, don't focus on the other things. I know that if I'm struggling, that only leads to a dump in me. And I want something that could challenge me. Build up all my calluses, push through all the calluses. Becoming reckless, I'm ambitious and I'm restless. Was an apprentice, but possessed of different edges. So I asked a lot of questions and I learned a lot of lessons. Got different weapons and I work on my direction.
We gon' die with a name. We gon' fight through the pain. We gon' rise up and shine. We gon' strive to make gains. We don't hide from the blame. We take pride when we train. We gon' rise up and shine. We gon' fight through the pain. We gon' die with a name. We gon' fight through the pain. We gon' rise up and shine. We gon' strive to make gains. We don't hide from the blame. Take pride when we train. We gon' rise up and shine.
When I make that bag, got goals in my mind that I want real bad, so I work and strive to get all of that. Don't need any luck, my work pays off, cause the more I work, the more I take off. I don't lack direction, I'm never lost, always on play, never hit pause. And I teach classes on these things, lessons came through lyrically, but now I think it's time to be professor of the finer things, to guide the next to try and be proactively trying things in the shadows quietly, building their own dynasty.
We gon' hike through the flame, we gon' die with a name. We gon' fight through the pain, we gon' rise up and change. We gon' strive to make gains, cause we don't hide from the blame. We take pride when we train. We gon' rise up and change. We gon' hike through the flame, we gon' die with a name. We gon' fight through the pain, we gon' rise up and change. We gon' strive to make gains, we don't hide from the blame. We take pride when we train. We gon' rise up and change.
Yeah, I don't know if that worked. It sure was buffering on my side. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Bring up my co-host to the stage, Caucasian.
You see how bad it's going right now. Yeah, okay, we're fairly good for the moment, but it's going to start glitching in a second, and I'm going to have to do something. It's raining cats and dogs. It's coming down like a cow pissing on a flat rock.
Yeah, did the video glitch or buffer?
No, it played fine on this end. Quite often when it's doing that sketchy thing like that, it'll be sketchy for you, but everybody else hears it fine. So StreamYard does what it's supposed to. It's your computer somehow clogging up the works. I ain't figured that one out yet. What's up, Matthew?
All right. Well, we're going to do that thing. So gold goes to Claiborne, chilling with Claiborne. We got Edwina coming in with the silver. And you don't count. So we got Rumsky coming up with the bronze.
Oh, dare you, young
I know.
lady. Of course I count. I'm always numero uno. Did you not know?
We got Dookie. Welcome in. And Cap, good to see you. We got Gregory, the cameraman, 1970 iTalk. Welcome in, Gregory. We got Xabic up in here. And we got Matthew the King. Welcome in. I did not hear he dropped out of the race. Did he? Really?
I was kind of looking.
Every tech issue is a chance to learn something new. Amen. And with Caucasian, there is always tech issues. Good
Not
evening.
gremlins. I swear to God, they're gremlins. They're about yay tall and they run around and do stuff.
Right. Good evening, Jamie Rooney. Let's see who else. We got Watt Life. What's up? What's up? I think that's everybody. Oh, we got Awakened by the Looking Glass Reflection. Welcome in. Thanks for coming. And I think we're caught up. All right, guys. So the original plan was, to have Officer Downey in here in the StreamYard and be able to do this interview. But because of technical difficulties, we're going to have to do it a little bit different.
This man is streaming his YouTube from a flip phone. He's got one of those old Nokias, right? And somehow he's hacked that sucker. StreamYard says it's not a phone. I think he's streaming from a rock.
I don't know. So I'm getting ready to call him, and we're going to do a call-in.
She's got a plan.
I've got a plan. Of course, I'm going to be the middleman. I like to get smart.
She likes to be in the middle. Like
but y'all will get y'all will get to hear him. He just can't hear Caucasian, but he can hear me. So I'm going to ask some questions. Caucasian will help, and then we'll open it up to the chat so y'all could ask this officer.
All right. So, hey, Jot, I need you to do me a favor. I love to hear you blow in my ear. I need you to back up the mic just a hair. You're kind of popping over there.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. That's good.
Okay.
What's up, Truth? Welcome to the show, bud.
Troopy Toe, welcome in.
Yee. All right, so this is a total scrub peppy what we got going on over here. It's absolute disaster candy. So the way this is actually going to work is any questions that the chat will have, be type it in chat like you normally would. I may actually join in that myself because he can't hear me. His natural tendency to fill silence. Think about this. He streams from a rock. So he doesn't have guests or friends or people. He's a cop. Why would anybody be friends with him? So just realize that when we talk over each other, it's not because he's an asshole. It's because he cannot hear me at all.
At all.
You hear her.
Yeah. Welcome in, Troopy Toe. Free side.
Free side.
J-Dub, welcome in. So yes, Edwina, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting, technically, just to pull it off. I don't know, y'all probably don't remember when I did the deaf Bigfoot hunter interview. It's going to be like
that. All right. So.
Worst part is I can't even, not yet, until it starts doing stuff.
It's doing stuff.
What is it doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Hear now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm asking if they can hear you.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so yeah, the way you can hear me, and it's going to be like me and you having a conversation, but everybody who's in Caucasian and I's YouTube channel can hear you, and they can hear me. You will not be able to hear Caucasian because we couldn't get it to work that way, but I think this is the best way to do this. So we're going to rock it.
Well, here's the thing, AJ. I can hear him. I'm watching it.
Oh, okay.
Then there's going to be a heck of a lag.
I don't have a camera for me to put on my computer, but I could hear him. I could hear you.
Okay, well, even better. Got you. Okay.
So that makes sense.
It does. So you're on your phone, but you're watching on the computer.
Yes.
Okay, and you can hear them or hear him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see everybody in chat.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Caucasian's happy.
I really don't need to be on the phone, I don't believe, because I can hear you guys and I could type my responses.
Well, I want them to hear your response, and it'll take right. It'll. I think there'll be too much of not a lag, but just a delay in the response, and I think we might lose people if that makes sense. It's more engaging.
Okay.
Is that good, Caucasian? Yeah. Did I say that well? Okay, you can talk. He can hear you.
Yeah, but do you realize how much lag is going to actually occur there? Like he'll hear me in 2 seconds during this whole exchange because it's coming out of YouTube.
Oh, I got you.
There is a lag. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I can see you're not on a picture, but Caucasian is.
Right.
And I'll lower the volume on the computer, and I'm listening to you, and I can read everybody over here on the right side.
There you go. That'll work.
Jesus.
Hey, we're going to get this done.
This also means you can highlight specific comments for him to answer.
No, I'm not nervous. I'm teasing you. I've been doing for the last hour, I've been listening to Lou Rawls.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's a 70s musician.
Oh, okay. I'm not that old.
Caucasian would know that.
Right. Okay, so let me just say hello to a couple more people that came in. We have American 101. We got Angel. What's up, Angel? U-Haul's in the house. And I think that's all right. So why don't you go ahead and just kind of give us your background. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, how long you've done it, what made you become a police officer, kind of thing.
Can Caucasian hear me too?
Yes.
Okay.
Caucasian and chat. Everybody can hear you.
Okay. So check this out. So it started when I got out of high school. I got out of high school in 1986. I applied for some jobs. I'm just giving you a background of me, like a Reader's Digest version. I applied for the phone company because my father had been there for 35 years, and he says, I can get you a job. So I got a job at the phone company like a week after I got out of high school. I worked there till 1989. I got laid off because I thought I was going to have a job for the rest of my life like my father did, but I didn't. So I'm still living at home with my parents, and I started applying for jobs. I applied at the post office. I got a job at the post office, and I thought I was going to have a job for life from there too, AJOT, but I didn't. I got laid off in 1991, the beginning of 91. And during that time, jobs were hard to come by out here. And I don't remember why, but I was applying. Well, finally, my dad said, hey, look, you got to do something because you're going to have to move on in life. And I was like, yeah, I know. He goes, what kind of a job would you want to do? Well, I didn't know. I said, something where somebody would, I don't want to get laid off anymore. My dad goes, you need to do a job where people actually need you. I said, bing, light bulb went off. I said, fire department or police department? He goes, or the medical field. How about a nurse? And I was like, I knew I wasn't going back to college because that's just not me. So I said, all right, I'll start applying for the fire department and the police department. So some time went by, and I finally applied for Phoenix Police, Glendale Police, different cities around where I lived. And I applied for fire department. Oh, I passed on both. And for fire and police, I said to my dad, I said, hey, look, Dad, I passed. I go, whoever calls me first. And here I am 33 years later, and I'm still working as a patrolman. So that's how that became about. I started in 1991, and here I am 33 years later.
Could you retire
I'm technically, AJOT, I am retired right now, but I signed a contract to work longer because once I retire and stop working, I don't have any medical coverage.
Okay.
So
okay.
That's why I work. I'm going to work till I hopefully can get Social Security if it's still there.
Right.
And that's how I will be supporting medical for me and my wife.
Okay.
Now, she was hit with some medical issues this last year, so it's a good thing I didn't walk away.
Right. Well, prayers to you and your family.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a realist. I could be taken out tomorrow going to the store. It's just when it's your time, it's your time. I don't care what you're doing or who you are. That's it. So I continue to work. And I love it. You know, a lot of people say, Jesus Christ, you're 57 years old. When are you going to retire? I go, hey, you know what? It's my time. And when I'm ready to leave, I'll leave.
Right.
You
So we have a question. Caucasian asks, do you know any cop jokes?
Yeah, I do. Caucasian. What is every fireman? What is I can't remember how it goes, but for firemen, it's all of my fireman buddies. I work with a lot of them. I went to high school with them. You know, the number one thing is, you know, what is a cop always wants to be a fireman? And, you know, I was looking at them and I was like, you're damn right I did. And they know it.
Hearing him try to tell a joke is funnier than the fucking joke.
Because why is he laughing at me? I can't hear. What was he saying?
He said hearing you tell a joke is funnier, or hearing you try to tell a joke is funnier than the actual joke.
All the jokes I know are inappropriate, so that was kind of a clean joke. So, so if it's clean, I got to think about it. But he gets the point. The firemen were, you know, what is they're the heroes. That's what they say.
Right. Okay, so go ahead, Caucasian.
No.
Oh.
So
you're good. Okay.
Years, I'm still going. I've been in patrol my whole career, Ajad. If you could believe that.
I mean, 33 years. That's a long time.
It is, but to stay in a patrol function where somebody, you know, like all these new guys come on, I got to get out of patrol. I got to be a detective. I want to go do accidents, and it's like I never had the ambition to do that because there was no incentive for it. But now there is. The incentive is you get a take-home car. You know, that's huge. You don't get extra pay, but you save on the gas.
Okay.
So
I have a question from Midwest Accountability. He says, is there any use of force cases against you? I guess he meant to say any excessive use of force cases against you.
There was one, and we all had to go to court on it. And I'll tell you about it in a little bit. And it says, ever arrested another cop?
Right.
No, I haven't. Never had. I don't think I've ever had any incidents with another cop.
Okay.
To where I had to take any enforcement action on another cop.
All right. So do you want to go into yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the use of force. There was a late, it was in September of 2010. It was a stolen car. She was in a stolen car with her boyfriend, who was the driver. Mm-hmm. Some undercover cops were following them, and they pulled into a gas station. Well, when they realized that they were being followed by the cops, the driver took off running out of the driver's side door. The passenger took off out of her side of the door. Well, I remember hearing the cop that took off after the driver yelling, gun, gun, gun. So I transferred my vision over to her. They got him. He was fine. I got into a foot chase with her. She didn't realize I was behind her because I was paralleling her. Mm-hmm. We crossed the street, and I confronted her in another convenience store, which was directly across the street. Told her to get down. She didn't. Took her down to the ground, cuffed her. It was no big deal, and walked off. Well, I found out later that day that she said she was pregnant. Well, she never told me. She never told me any of that.
Right.
And I found out 3 months later that she lost the kid, and she tried to sue me, and I think there was three other officers that were there. And I said, well, this is real easy. Why don't we go get the video from the store? And they said, well, it's been 3 months. And I said, well, who's complaining? She goes, well, it's her ex-boyfriend's mother. I go, so the ex-boyfriend's mother's complaining that we did something to her ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend? And they're like, yeah. I go, so this lady's not even making the complaint? No. Oh, okay. So that's fine. So it goes to court, and it was unanimous by a jury that, you know, based on everything that she was doing and her arrests. And even after our incident, they dismissed it.
Okay, so you made the statement, who is, filing the claim or whatever, and you said it's, the ex-boyfriend mother.
Well,
right?
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend's mother.
I mean,
not even the person involved. She never made a complaint.
Right, but it was probably, I can only assume, the ex-boyfriend's maybe child. I mean,
Yeah, it would have been if he's
right.
even involved at
Right.
that point.
Well,
But,
I mean, it being the mother is kind
well,
of.
the thing is, we don't take third-party complaints. It has to be from the person that's making the complaint, but they allowed a third-party complaint.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and that's no big deal. I didn't care about that. It's just that all of the, after 3 months, it's all of a sudden it's important.
Okay. I got you now.
Even when, it should have been that day, she should have been making a complaint if it was that, and I think somebody called the fire department and she signed a refusal, if I'm not mistaken. But you're talking 2010.
Got you.
Hey,
so
look at that.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Nice guitar.
Nice. So you can see X Habit's comment.
Probably now, you know what? I've been good with police. I think I would have probably stayed. Now, can I make another career out of firefighting after I leave here? I probably could, as long as I stay healthy. Edwina, I don't know the case number. I mean, that was, what, 14 years ago? Okay.
I'm just going through chat real quick.
Yeah.
I see you going through chat real quick. Maybe you should go
not
through
really
chat real quicker.
Whatever.
You do something. Come on. You're losing me here.
Whatever. Okay. Here, Truth Be Told has a question. Have you ever had to stop a cop from violating somebody's rights? Or have you ever stopped a cop?
Yeah, I stopped. How about a security guard?
Okay. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it was an incident at a hospital where a patient was trying to get out of the hospital, run out of the hospital after I guess he refused medical treatment, and he tried to run out, and it was against medical advice. And when he tried to leave, the security guard tackled him down to the ground. They came and got me because I was talking to a doctor in a different area of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I came running in, and he was down on the ground, and he had his knee on his neck. I said, "Get your goddamn knee off of his neck." And he looked up at me. I said, "Move it now." And yeah, that was it. But that's basically it for that.
Yeah, we know, bud. AJOT's just having a brain glitch go on.
What? What?
This is the part where you start talking. After he finishes.
Now, it's always important. Sometimes it takes a while for symptoms to show up.
Yeah, but see, Caucasian, that's also why I, had you.
Yeah, to fill those lonely
So Direct D's in the chat and ask, is that old Bill?
Who?
Direct D. Yes, it's Bill Downey. Yes, obviously you know him.
Is that old? Yeah, tell him. Yeah, it's old. I'm old. Put a D on the end of it.
West Side.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so 33 years. Okay, Let me
I know
go ahead.
I know it's going to be coming up. I know there's a question. How come you never promoted to sergeant, lieutenant, commander, captain? It's the same thing.
Right.
Does anybody even care about stuff like that?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, well, thank you. I'll tell you. So 1995 comes along. I test for sergeant. There was only one spot. I was number 5 on the list. I didn't make it. And from that point on, I was never able to test again.
And why is that?
Because I don't have a college degree.
Oh, okay.
They made you have a college degree to promote to sergeant, or you have to have a bachelor's degree to become a lieutenant. Now, as of 5 years ago, they just changed it to where they could use your time on.
So what question did I miss, Midwest?
It said that I know Direct D. I know Direct D is.
Direct D is a YouTuber, but he's more of like a First Amendment activist type. He's hardcore. He's liable to make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Then I guess he doesn't have to ask questions.
So I met you in the 1A, well, in 1A community chats. And we talked a lot.
Was
so
it Tapatios?
It was, I think it was West Side, and then yes, I did see you in Tapatios as well. So what is your view on what you see going on out there as far as the tyranny?
Well, I'd like to know where the hell they're getting their training. That's the first thing I think of.
So what does training look like for those who, like, what was your training like?
I went through a 16-week academy. We went through basic, we do our shooting, we do our driving, we do skills of, and at the time there was no de-escalation training.
Mm-hmm.
That you're talking, 30 years ago. So me, I like talking. Not a lot of people like to do that. So it's changed now, AJOT, but back then it was get to the call, handle the call. And DV was just, everybody that doesn't know DV is domestic violence. Now, a lot of people have different views on domestic violence. There's only so much you can do. You have to make an arrest on a domestic violence.
No matter what.
No, if you have evidence of domestic violence, there is no, you shall make an arrest. Whether you submit charges, which would be only on a criminal damage in this state. I don't know about any other state.
Right.
But Arizona, you better make an arrest. Or if it's criminal damage, like if somebody broke a glass, you could submit charges on that, but it's going to basically be up to you. Are you going to want to do that for liability purposes? I'm big on liability because I don't want something to come back to me and say, hey, you were there 6 hours ago and now that person's dead.
Right.
So yeah, you better make an arrest on it as long as there's evidence. I mean, like say, even a guy can, a girl, I've seen girls beat the shit out of guys.
Right.
So if there's injury on both of them go.
So Midwest has a question. When is the last time you renewed or cited your oath?
1991.
Can you cite it now?
What's that?
Can you tell people what your oath is?
Yeah, to uphold the Constitution of the U.S. and to treat people with fair and equitable treatment.
So Direct D says, because I guess you claimed you don't know who he is. He said, tell him about the First Amendment auditor training you got because of my flashlight incident in Glendale. Does that ring a bell?
What it had to have been at night. I don't work nights, but I think I heard about it. And yeah, I probably, I did hear about it. Is that the one where you shine the light on the, I can't even remember the guy's name. There's people I work with, I don't even know who they are because I'm the old guy. Is that the one where he shined it on him and the guy sat there for like 15 or 20 minutes?
I'm not sure.
That's it. I'm not sure either. I work daytime, so I hear a lot of the stuff at night, but we've gone through 2 or 3 of it.
Right. So can you tell me what the First Amendment is?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I said, can you tell me what the 5 elements of the First Amendment are?
Yeah, it's the First Amendment is the First Amendment is out of the preamble. It's the first of the 10 amendments. It's your right to religion, free exercise of speech, freedom of press, peaceful to assemble peacefully, and that's basically it. Freedom of speech. The press and people could assemble without being questioned or harassed.
So the First Amendment is it's the freedom of religion, speech, and the press. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise therefore.
And able to assemble, if I remember correctly, you could assemble.
Abridging the freedom, of speech or the press, the right of the people peacefully to assemble.
Are you seeing that?
And to petition the government. Did you hear me?
Yeah. Are you reading it?
Oh, yeah, I was reading it.
Oh, all right. Because, yeah, freedom of speech is the First Amendment. I'm just going off of, religion, and I mean, that should be a given.
Where'd you go, Caucasian?
I'm over here.
Okay.
What am I supposed to do?
Huh?
You're doing great. You do you, boo boo. I'm just
my God.
You're Binky. I'm Binky tonight.
Okay. So J-Dub in the chat says, this is what bothers me. A nurse making life decisions for victims who are vulnerable. I went to school for 6 years. Some uneducated cop can ruin your life.
Okay. What is he saying? Is that for
that
the
wasn't a question. That
wasn't. It wasn't a question. It was a statement.
Oh, okay.
It was just a comment.
Yeah. Way too long ago. I don't know.
You're way behind.
Oh, I am, but I'm trying to. I'm trying.
You're doing good. I'm proud of you.
No, I'm not. So American makes the statement, sometimes the law seems inflexible and other times it's far too flexible. It seems almost impossible for cops to find a balance nowadays, and I wonder what he thinks about that.
Well, I could only answer for me. There's some laws that, if you go a mile over the speed limit, are you breaking the law? Technically, yes, but are you going to stop somebody for that? Like I said, domestic violence, that's a huge one, and you don't want to. There's some things that I could say, I'll submit on, like, if I go out with somebody that has drug paraphernalia, am I going to arrest this guy and bring him to jail? It just depends. If does he have a felony warrant? Does it, even warrants? You could say, I'm not going to do that. I have a different outlook, AJOT, than most people, because I've been doing this for so long. We're not even making a dent in just from the drugs coming from Mexico, you're not going to ever stop it. I don't believe. At least that's my opinion. People may disagree with that, but from what I see, you're never going to stop that. And
So what about stopping the, the tyranny of cops, stepping on people's rights, even just for filming? What is your...
I wish people would come out and film me.
But what is your opinion when I mean, obviously you watch cop watches and stuff like that. What's your opinion on what you see? Well, so it's going to be a two-part question. What is your opinion on what you're seeing? And then what do you think could be done, or what do you think should be implicated to change that? Because from what I gather, you're not for what you're watching, because you are making the statement you haven't acted in that way. And I don't know if you have seen officers act that way. I mean, I know you gave us the example of the security guard. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as in
one of the recent ones.
Right. So, I mean, what is your view on what you watch through the channels that you watch? And, how do you think that can be changed?
Well, I see a lot of stuff from Phoenix, and there's some shit that I'm like, I can't, I'm flabbergasted, honestly. And I'm happy that I don't work there.
So can you give me an example of something that you might have witnessed or saw that
well, I don't really I don't work in Phoenix. I try not to deal with them. Ajad is what I guess I'm trying to say. So I just look at, some of the stuff that I see online with some of the other cop watchers. I'm like, like there was one, this Tapatios. I'm sure you know him, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he was filming I think it was a DUI stop, and the cops got into the guy's truck and drove it away. And I was like, well, I don't know if they would do that, because if something ever happened, even if it was a minor fender bender, that's liability on you, the cop. So I remember asking Cap, I said, hey, what the hell are they doing? He's like, I don't know. I've never seen it. I go, yeah, I never have either. And they drove it off of private property into the street. And I don't know where they were taking it, but it was just stuff like that you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. So Edwina asks, what current training have you taken in excessive force, de-escalate, and First Amendment as an officer?
There's no, we all know what excessive force is. I don't even believe that we take classes in. You have a continuum of force that you use. Whatever is being used against you, you have to know, like say if somebody's coming at you hands on, what are you going to do? So you have to look at a continuum of force. So if you're coming at me with your hands, I'm coming at you with hands or pepper spray. You have a you're not going to be able to shoot somebody.
Right.
I mean, we got to use our head a little bit. And I think people are, I see it a lot back east. It's like, Jesus, where the hell, who's training these people? But to get back to the question, can you put it up again?
Yeah.
Can you put that other question again?
There you go. So there's no in training. There's no.
No, yeah. I mean, they train you in the. I mean, everybody knows what you can't use excessive force. You can't use more force than being exerted against you, unless it's deadly force. If somebody's got a gun or they're holding a knife to you.
And as far as de-escalate, like how?
De-escalation is exactly what I do. You talk. I mean,
And is
Yeah.
that something that they teach you in training, how
Yeah,
to de-escalate a situation?
Yes, they do now. Yes,
They do now. What do you mean?
they do. Well, they do. I mean, 30 years ago we didn't, but as of
Okay.
about 15 to 20, start de-escalating.
And so when it comes to like the First Amendment, is that even told to y'all? I mean, I know that y'all's oath says we'll abide by the Constitution, but like,
Right.
let's
Well,
face it, not everybody knows the Constitution.
Well,
And
you're right.
and
And
to be
just-
honest, Mr. Downey, you know what I mean? I mean, you kind of danced around answering the question, you know. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, you know, but it's, you know, it's very simple. Like ANCAP said, it's RAPS: religion, assemble, petition, press,
Right.
speech, you know.
Right. Well, the press, that's the main thing is freedom of speech, freedom of assemble, and religion. The press, you know, we have nothing to do with written, right?
What do you mean? I mean, press is simply,
Press is what you're doing here, what you're doing in the newspapers, you know, whatever.
press is not written though. Press can be, you know, that's, I mean,
right. Cameramen going out
He
there.
said what you're doing here. He included you in that. Yes.
Okay, I worry about the freedom of speech. Can you talk to people? Are you being somebody saying something against you to where it's freedom of speech? It should encompass all of that. So, you know, like freedom of religion, I don't take reports from, you know, I guess we all know it's freedom of speech. It encompasses all, and no, I've never falsified a statement to bring a charge at anybody. And let's see, have you witnessed colleagues do? No, I don't see what other officers write in their reports.
So Edwina wants to know why you delete your live streams.
It's the setting. I've actually talked to him about this on his live streams, and he has it set up. The type of phone he has limited ability to deal with that stuff.
Can't hear you.
Edwina, have you heard my colorful language?
So because it's inappropriate, that's why you delete them?
Yeah, they don't. I don't want people, co-workers. I don't care about anybody else, but I don't want my co-workers.
That's a bold statement.
And I mean, some of them can come in there. Some of them know I do, but there's some that don't even know what I do.
But what is it you do? I mean, what other than your colorful language? I mean, that's freedom of speech, is it not?
It is. It is freedom of speech, but that's for me to decide if I want people to.
So that's a personal choice, you're saying?
Yeah, it's a personal choice. Now, when I retire, yeah, maybe I won't care.
So are you saying that because you are still considered a working,
yeah,
that you're choosing not to?
Yeah, I'm choosing not to.
So here is Direct D was saying that your oath was not the oath in Arizona.
Okay.
Or I guess how you stated it.
Right.
Can you read that?
Yeah, I can now. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the. Yeah, that's what the president says. That's what police officers say in front of a judge with your hand on the Bible.
So yeah, he said that's the Arizona oath for cops, verbatim.
I haven't read it since I haven't even read it. They told it to me. Yeah, it is. That is. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know of any cop that knows it verbatim. If you could find one, kudos to you.
Have you ever been approached by an auditor?
No. Well, yeah, I have. But it wasn't, well, maybe I approached him. I don't know. I can't remember. It was, what the hell's his name? It's not Tapatios. If I heard his name,
You sure it wasn't Directy?
no, no, I don't.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Just wear a derby? No, it ain't him. I know it ain't him. If I heard the guy that wears the derby, I can't think of his name right now. The first, yeah,
I don't know.
amendment by search and seizures, the Fourth Amendment.
Awesome. So back to, so what I got was you're saying a lot of it is training, right? The issue that you had seen.
Well, yeah, that's just my opinion in it. I mean, there's people that that are doctors that shouldn't be doctors. There's people that work at a 7-Eleven that shouldn't be 7-Eleven worker. There's cops out there that shouldn't be cops. I mean, let's all be honest. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's a fair statement?
Make the statement again. I apologize.
No, he said that there are doctors who shouldn't be doctors, and there are firemen who shouldn't be firemen.
There's doctors that shouldn't be doctors. There's nurses that shouldn't be nurses. There's
Right.
7-Eleven. Right. There's cops that shouldn't be cops.
So 95% of the cops that are cops shouldn't be cops. I mean, because the tyranny is real, and it's more often than not you come across, a tyrant cop in one way or another.
95%, that's kind of high.
What would you say it is?
You're saying out of this whole country, there's only 5% that aren't?
That aren't tyrant cops? Yeah. I mean, that's, and I might even be giving you some, I don't know.
95%, Ajad?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately.
I would disagree a bit.
Where the hell do you live?
Right?
I live in Texas. I mean,
maybe Texas cops.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So Caucasian asks, do you ever go on gut feelings on stops?
No. Gut feelings. No. Either you have a violation or you don't. And when I mean a violation, I mean a traffic violation.
A traffic violation?
Is that what he's talking about? Or just...
Sorry, I'm laughing at myself because I know I'm totally like bombing this and it's not going as smooth as I planned. But, we're going to wing it. It's okay.
Smooth as a grade 3 sauce.
Hey, Midwest Accountability's question there. Yeah, you're right. You pulling people over for brake lights.
So let's hop on that. So you made a comment about the one speed over. So let's talk about qualified immunity and officer discretion. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, qualified immunity, I don't really think about because I know I'm not going to do anything wrong. So I don't even think about it. So
but do you think that cops in general, I mean, I understand what you're saying about yourself, but do you think that cops in general should have qualified immunity?
I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest with you.
Why is that?
I just don't think, if they took it away, they took it away,
So because it doesn't affect you, because you feel that you are a law-abiding cop and you do the things the right way.
Things the right way. Yeah. I don't even, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you, Ajad. I don't, I've heard that, for.
Okay. So let me rephrase it. Do you think that those bad cops should still have qualified immunity?
No, I don't. If you're a bad cop, get the hell out. I don't want you. Because that one bad cop could be working next to me that gets me hurt or killed.
Do you use officer discretion?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
When do you think you use officer discretion the most? In a traffic stop or
Yeah,
in...
if I don't really do too many traffic stops, but if it's up to me, yeah, it is.
So when you're on duty and you're patrolling, what does a day look like for you?
I take a lot of accidents and I take a lot of reports.
So you're like the paperwork pusher?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Yep. I like doing accidents.
What training would help with the issue with filming police, do you think, in your opinion?
Honestly, Ajad, it would be great if I can get my department to agree to have an auditor come to one of our briefings or even ride with me.
And although that would be great, but how can we get what you're claiming you do and your department does out there where other people could have the same good interaction with a police officer? Like, do you think any training would help? You know, I mean, I'm sure you have
Well,
seen.
I talked to my squad a lot about it because they had a guy, I can't remember his name. It was, he's huge on the internet, but honestly, I didn't know about him, but Singarello.
Singarello?
Yes, Santarello. He rode with one of our officers on a day, and it was supposedly huge. I don't know.
So I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, 2018? You got Officer of the Year? Is that correct? I might be.
Yeah.
So Edwina.
It was
go ahead.
Yeah, Edwina wants to know that.
Yeah, she was asking what was your claim to fame for the officer?
Had a lady that went into a drugstore, a Walgreens drugstore. She actually worked there, and it was her day off because she was on Christmas break. She was a school teacher, and she also worked at Walgreens. She was talking to a coworker at a register, and she had her envelope had $1,000 in it, and put it down on the counter. And she was talking to the coworker. She bought her stuff, and she left $1,000 in her bank envelope at the counter. Well, she left, and a lady came in a couple minutes later, saw the money sitting on the counter. She went and got a drink out of the refrigerator, and she looked around, and she grabbed the $1,000 and took out. So they called the cops. We get there. I got there and took her report. And I was like, well, we got to help this lady out. So I gathered everybody that was working in the city to donate some money. And I went to a bank in Phoenix to get the same envelope because it was a special credit union that wasn't around where I worked. So I had to get the envelope, and we put $1,000 back in her envelope and took it back to her.
And that's what
they wrote me up for that, and they gave it into the state board, and me and I don't know how many other ones, they chose that one. But I didn't do it for that. It wasn't about that. In fact, I had to go out and buy a suit to go to the awards banquet because I don't wear suits.
So, speaking of that bait, I have the picture, but I can't pull up the picture because I have you on here. But I'll show them once we end the call. But so the picture of you holding that award is a silver and white flag or shaped award, but it has a blue line. What is your thoughts on the blue line? I mean, do you consider yourself Blue Line Gang?
No, I don't have anything that's blue line other than that award. I don't wear it. I don't put a flag on me with it. I don't put anything with it.
And what's your reasoning for that?
I just don't. That's not me.
Okay, what is your thought of the blue line on the flags?
I don't know. I don't really think about it, honestly. I'm almost 60 years old, age. I mean, that's all.
So do you
newer
think it's
stuff.
a disgrace to the flag?
No, I mean, if people can burn a flag, is that a disgrace?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
because you're not supposed to burn a
Yes,
flag.
it is.
Well, you're allowed to under your First
You're
Amendment.
allowed to, but
You're
you
not
can't burn a
allowed.
rainbow flag.
Yeah, you are.
But what, Caucasian? I'm sorry.
You can burn an American flag. That's perfectly defended by the First Amendment of the United States. But apparently, burning a rainbow flag
Supreme Court has already said
is hate. That's hate speech.
that you're able to do that.
Okay.
So it's up to the individual. If you want to desecrate a flag, that's up to you.
Well, that's news to me. So Direct D had a question. Can you read it or no?
What's that?
Can you read the question on the screen?
Let me look. Yes, I am.
And what is that? I don't know.
It's a national, I guess a fraternal. It's not even a union. It's a group that I do it for lawyers in case I need a lawyer. So that's all I use it for.
So Direct D says he's fumbling because there is no training. They take
what?
cues for the Phoenix Police Department that believes that escalation is de-escalation. It says he's fumbling because it's not training that they get.
Fumbling for what?
Fumbling, I guess, your words.
On what?
On the de-escalation and the training.
Well, yeah, we have de-escalation training with scenarios, and that's basically the de-escalation. We do scenarios, and we have a thing called the FAT system, which is a 360-degree screen that you go into and you de-escalate by either talking or what you do. They grade you. Another training officer grades you. But de-escalation is basically talking.
Can I use that screen for Call of Duty?
What screen, Caucasian?
The 360 screen he's talking about, that 360 degree.
Oh.
I want to go in there and play Call of Duty in there.
I don't know.
What was he saying?
He was asking if you can use a 360 screen for Call of Duty.
For a what?
For Call of Duty, playing on, Xbox Call of Duty.
Know.
So Edwina asks, is there no ongoing training? Like once you're trained, no matter how many years you're in?
No, we go through training 3 times a year. I believe it's every 3 months.
Every 3 months you have to go.
Yeah. There's they call it AOT, which is officer training.
Are you scared of retaliation, Mr. Downey?
No, I don't care. I'm old, age odd. Let them retaliate with,
So Edwina says a cop should know the amendments and rights they abuse and or enforce.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So Edwina says she challenges you, Bill, to re-up on your oath and the Constitution.
Okay, Edwina, I will. I mean, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. The Third Amendment, I believe, is for soldiers during war to use your house. Am I ever going to use that? Probably not. But I am going to use First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth. I mean, some of the amendments that, you know, for state rights, I believe there is, and bails, and some of those, do you really need to know them?
Well, I mean, I guess that's just your. I mean, the Bill of Rights. You know, at least the first, 10 are definitely
the job that I'm doing. Do I really need to know? I think it's civil trials or civil.
So, what amendments do you think, as an officer, you should know?
The ones I said: 1, 2, 4, 5, and yeah, 1, 2, 4. The ones you really have to.
Well, he's not real big into women's voting rights, I take it.
States' rights.
So Edwina says, what training is required to keep your license certification active?
To attend all of your classes, your training. That's mandatory. And we have online training too that they send us. Our training people send us emails, and we have to go into view online training. And that's sometimes every month, sometimes more. Depends if there's policy changes.
What would Bill lose without qualified immunity? Well, Edwina, he kind of answered that already. He doesn't feel he would lose anything because he feels that he does everything by the book and how it should be done. That's why he's saying that the qualified immunity doesn't matter to him, whether it's still there or taken away. Am I correct?
That's pretty much it, John. So I don't even think about it.
Directly, I'm not sure what you mean. You offered that. They are not interested. I'm not sure what you're referring to. All my cop friends say they do way too much paperwork, and it's the worst part of the job. Do you agree or not agree?
That's when I call cops.
It used to be when you had to handwrite everything, but I type everything now. Now, if they change systems like we had, I had a hell of a problem because I'm not good at computers. I mean, you see, I can't even come onto the screen here because of my phone. You said that.
Yeah.
I was told Apple phones are the best.
I mean, I guess that's their opinion.
Well, are you saying it was me?
No, I'm just, I hear nothing but bad stuff about iPhones, but that's just
me. And I was led to believe by my kids that it was better than my other phone that I had. What's the next question?
I'm looking. Caucasian, do you have any, oh, here's one. I know I should have asked Edwina to be my co-host. I'm just kidding. Do cops on duty have any privacy rights?
Cops on duty. What do you mean privacy rights? If I'm working and somebody, no, I don't have. If you're in public, there's no expectation of privacy. Is that what she's saying?
I believe so.
I don't.
That's
get
accurate.
Try to
yes.
Tell her to find
out.
Personally, I think it's excellent.
Well, I don't know. Do you know Long Island audits?
No. I don't follow too many people outside of Let Me Audit You.
Okay.
It's out of state.
Okay, so apparently I was told I'm like 15 minutes behind chat, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you, you like way behind there, sweet
Okay,
meat.
you saying way behind, right? Is not telling me, exactly how. I mean, show me state news. Sorry, I mean, I got directly up in here. I'm
Are
like,
you talking to me?
oh, I'm talking to everybody. I was
Oh.
like 15 minutes behind chat, so Topher Live came in here and said you are like 15 minutes behind. My bad. So I apologize. I think I am. Yeah. Okay.
And like I said,
Yes, I'm listening.
I have a different. I guess I have a different view on things. So I'm not out. I hope.
And that's kind of what I want to hear your view. Like
I kind of, there's people out there that, I mean, it's one thing to, I guess, give me a chance, and I mean, that's why I wish some of them would come out and deal with me. But, I tell them to come out and, nah, we don't want to come to you. There's no money in you. Oh, all right.
So how can we get those the corruption, you know what I mean? Like, how can each department be like Glendale, as you say, or are leading us to believe that you're at least you are doing what you're supposed to and whatnot? Would you say that your fellow workers and cop friends have you ever seen or heard of one violating somebody's right or being excessive or like within your department because you can what?
You're making it very difficult to answer a question because every time you come to the question, you add more to the question.
Okay, Caucasian.
Question, let him answer. Ask another question.
Okay. Now I forgot what my question was. Yeah.
You keep jumping around.
I know, I do, and that's what Caucasian's yelling in my ear. So Westside says, here's a question. Westside says, who said there's no money from you or for you when you made that statement? About having somebody come right along with you and stuff like that.
What's that?
When you were talking about oh my gosh.
Ride-alongs?
What do you do? I will volunteer to keep questions. Thank you. The ride-alongs. You said, you tried to get ride-alongs and stuff like that, and you made the comment, "There's no money for you."
Or to come out and film me. It was, I believe it was somebody in her chat that said that. And if that's the case, then I mean, if it's all about the money, then I guess.
Oh, so you're saying auditor or the people you asked to come and ride with you, they were saying there's no money.
Yeah. They're like, they don't want to come out to you because
them.
Is Westside in here?
Yeah, she's in the chat. She's the one who asked that question.
Numerous times to come out, and she's like, "Yeah, I got to. I will," and I don't.
Well, I know for Westside, she has a bit of a transportation issue.
Fine. No, I know, and it's fine. But I've asked quite a few. But
if you're not careful, you're going to end up having direct G on a ride along.
Degrees because I work there. I get it, but I'll never work nights again.
So Edwina's question on the privacy rights. She says,
Edwina asked a lot of questions.
Oh, here. Yes, she's very She says her rights or her question about rights while on duty goes to cameras, language, signage, etc., hurt feelings, etc.
Hurt feelings. Whoa. What do you mean hurt feelings?
So a lot of, police officers, go after auditors or
Okay.
people because of hurt feelings.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah. Have you ever seen a cameraman do anything to a cop?
No.
Good answer.
Embarrassment.
So what's the issue with filming cops?
There should be none. But
right.
there is.
Yeah, I know. And that's something that needs to be trained on. Have you ever seen a cameraman attack a cop? Have you ever seen a cameraman pull out a weapon on a cop?
No, I have not.
Yeah, ask James. Who's James?
No, I was talking to my son.
What am I?
And I wasn't muted, so whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole feeling on it. And I can talk to my squad because I'm there with them, 4 days a week. So we have these discussions and they're pretty much on the same page as me. Can you, like the law that they were going to pass here, I think it was within 8 feet of a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care about that. I don't even think about it.
So nobody knew that till you put it in chat. I mean, I'm just saying.
What?
Nothing.
What am I missing?
Oh, nothing. I'm not even going to talk about it because that'll be even more. So, okay. So, I mean, I just want to thank you and thank everybody in chat who's been here. I really appreciate your time. I don't want to take too much of your time, but here's my last, I guess, question. What changes do you think need to be made to help police officers and being better at what they do?
Learn how to talk to people.
And there you go.
If you look at the younger generation now, their whole life is on a computer screen or on a phone. So everything they do, they have no skills of talking to people. It's all through text messaging. About 6 or 7 years ago, we would have a family night and my kids would be sitting next to each other a foot away. And instead of talking, they were texting each other. And when I saw that, I went through the roof. I took the phones, put them in a room, and we sat there and we talked.
Right.
And that's the problem with, and even adults, their whole life is on a computer screen. And they've lost interest in talk. Nobody talks to people anymore.
That is true.
And I think.
Do you think that is a reason why we can't interact in person?
Do you think that is a reason that we can't interact in person?
Not only with you, but people in general.
Right.
Yes, they have such a hard time. And, when I first started a job, I wasn't a people person. I was shy as hell, but I was thrown into it. And you better learn to talk. And if you can't, then there's some issues. Because if you can't talk to somebody, how can you de-escalate? How can you do anything?
Agreed. So, all right, I'm going to let Edwina take us out on this last question since she was hot on it tonight. So
Okay, yeah.
can you read it, or you need me to read it?
Can you tell me, hon?
Okay. It says, I see aggressive language to cops from press. I see cops attack cameraman. I see cops cuff and attack camera people for breathing. Do you support that, Bill? Have you ever seen that in Arizona?
Not around me. No, I don't agree. I mean, like I said, I wish people would come out and film me, but you know, yeah, I don't get it. I never really got it, but like I said, this is just my opinion,
Right.
and this is me. I can't answer for the next guy.
Well, again, thank you so much, Mr. Downing. I do appreciate you taking the time to giving us an insight on your thoughts and how you see things. I do appreciate it. And thanks again.
Okay. Hey, no problem.
All right. Well, I'll let you
All right.
go do what
Tell
you got to do.
Tell everybody thanks for how many people came in? Do you know?
We had like up to 40, 45.
Oh, wow. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, we've had a nice 25, regular. So.
Oh, good. All
Yeah.
right.
So, all right. Well, you have a great evening.
All right. Let Caucasian Sasquatch know I said later.
I sure will.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Why? But why?
I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I'm going to open the panel. Stop telling me what to do.
Hey.
What?
Hey. Open the panel.
Whatever.
Do something.
Yes, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay. You going to put it in your chat, or do I need to?
You got to drop it backstage for me to copy
Okay.
that one. It won't let me copy it straight out of the chat.
All right.
Or when I do, it comes up as like 35 feet of code.
35 feet of code?
Yeah. Like, seriously.
All right, guys. So I'm opening up the panel. Tell me your thoughts.
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45
And
minutes.
at this point, I've already drank the Red Bull, so there's not going to be any red rum. So there.
So
what
there.
up, baby? Damn,
what up, y'all?
Exhibit, I just couldn't do it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. If
it was his first time. This was his first time ever doing anything like this. I was not prepared as I wanted to be, because I was relying on Caucasian to do a little bit more talking, but it was hard because of the way we had to do it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So what?
Look, you did a hell of a job. You would have done a lot better if Caucasian.
Oh, you got an echo, homie.
Who does?
You do.
How the fuck?
Oh no, that's me. My bad. Okay. And you're Mr. Downey, you're muted.
What? You're Caucasian. You're muted there, homie. Something. Your mic didn't catch up.
I was doing an interview with a police officer who, yeah, that's how it went. Now we're just kind of opening it up to, yeah.
So do I have my powers in here, or did you give them to Caucasian?
No, I didn't give it to Caucasian.
Caucasian, look, man, you'd have had a better show if you'd have gave him the damn some of your powers, and he would have helped out instead of just sitting back there not saying nothing.
No, because he refuses to give them to me on our day, so I refuse to give it to him. Welcome in, truth be told.
What's up, young lady? How are you? How are y'all? What's up, Caucasian? What's up, Joe?
What's going on, truth?
Not a lot. Man, I wish so bad that I was in that live show with him, because I would have calmly.
Go ahead.
Calmly went against a lot of things. He danced around. I've never seen. Well, it's typical because I had a live cop watch just the other night, and the cop straight up told me, he says he can't answer some of the questions that I was trying to throw at him because they're not allowed to speak on certain topics. And that's exactly what he did on tonight's show. He was dancing around so bad about some of the things that you were asking him, and I knew that was going to happen before the show even started. That's why.
No,
So
but
the
see,
question-
this is hold up.
Go
This
ahead.
is just my view on it. I mean, although I think he failed at naming the First Amendment, okay, he danced around that. I feel that he was giving his perception on his environment. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? He might be a decent officer, you know what I mean? And he is sheltered to this persona, you know what I mean, of certain things. And Glendale, I mean, other than what Direct D was saying about the flashlight, and I don't know anything about that. I don't know what he meant, what happened, for example, in that scenario. But again, that was probably nighttime and he's daytime. So he's got these binoculars on, right? And
Right. Well,
so
like I said, and it also falls back on their training. They're trained a certain way, even though it's not lawful. They're gonna do what they were taught and how they were taught, and not pay attention to what actual people's rights are. That's just a fact.
I got a question, Truth.
Yeah.
So going off of what you said, right?
Yeah.
So you think I mean, obviously you do have a problem with it, but why do you have a problem if he danced around things that he just can't talk about because he could get fired? If you were working a job, regardless what job it is, I don't care if it was picking up dog shit in people's backyards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were told that, hey, you can't, if someone asks you about these things, you can't talk about these things, or you would be fired. You wouldn't talk about them. So, I mean, there probably
why
is
agree
things
why agree go on panel when you know you're going to be asked certain questions and know that you're going to not be able to answer some of the questions? Why would you even put yourself in a situation like that?
I believe he was trying to bridge a gap, man. I believe he was actually giving it his damnedest to try to bridge a gap between the public and the police. You don't?
And maybe in certain ways, but like I said, it all falls back to what he was saying he thought was actually true on some of the questions that he was answering. But like I said, here we go. It falls back on training again. There was certain things that he thought that he was doing the right way. In reality, it wasn't.
And he also said that. He also said that a lot of the training need to be. I don't know when you popped in, but he said that right out of his own mouth, is that the police need more training. That they need more training with the First Amendment. They need more training with the constitutional rights. They need more training with de-escalation. He said all that. He did say all that.
Right. But, like I said, he knows he's going to be asked certain questions. And like I said, he still bounced around them. And like I said, there was ways of being able to pull information out of him. You know what I mean? But we already know the way that their mindset is. We already know that they can't talk about certain things. We already know that they are restricted on, they can't talk about certain things. I just don't know why somebody would even want to jump on panel knowing that they can't talk about certain things. It's just, it's to me, it's more of, I don't know. It's so hard to talk about. It's so hard to explain.
Well, I used what I said about bridging the gap because like that's like that's like an auditor, thing where they say, oh, we're just trying to bridge a gap. We're just trying to bridge a gap. But are you really? Because this dude came on a panel with in the 1A with a cop watcher / auditor. And her, 90% of her audience, cop watchers and auditors, and like you said, he took the heat. So, like, was he not trying to bridge a gap? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If we don't allow them to try to bridge the gap back with us, we'll never bridge the gap. So when we say,
is he gonna listen to us? You know, there's
I
been
think
several
he
times
is.
that auditors have tried to teach out in the field, you know, telling these cops that they're violating people's rights. You know what? And they completely still put them in handcuffs. I have to say, they don't care about the situation. They're gonna like y'all talk about. It's 95% ego. They're gonna do what they feel like they could get away with their qualified immunity and not care about what people are trying to, like on my account, I label it as educational because I'm out there trying to educate the cops. I've quoted case law so many times out in the field to these cops, letting them know that they're violating rights, letting them know that what they're doing is wrong. But at the same time, it's like it's them not basically caring. You know, you keep saying bridging a gap. I understand that the gap is trying to be bridged, but how can we bridge that gap when they pay no attention to what the law actually is, and even they don't want to listen to the American people. The American
Well,
people are actually
what I
trying
was
to
trying to say though, truth was that I wasn't talking about cops in Louisiana and cops in San Antonio and Austin and all that. I was talking about this guy that came up on this show tonight. What you don't believe that he was trying to bridge a gap is what I'm saying. Like,
can I put my 2 cents in? I've
go
been
ahead,
very
man. You can only get 1 cent, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you a cent 50. How about this?
Okay, go ahead.
The reason I've been off panel is because Car Thief News thought you ended the stream when he left, and so he called me. And it took me this long to get it across to him that I'm actively currently streaming on panel with other people. He's like, that's cool, man. Beautiful, baby. You ever talk to him? It's a lovely experience. It's a great thing. I enjoy the hell out of it. But this guy came in tonight and he had what I believe was as honest a conversation as he can have in public, because some of the questions that were asked were about his specific department. I'm not even sure how legal or official him being here is as an active officer. I'm not sure that's permitted at all. So he may very well end up having a direct dress down from his command when he gets in. So keep that in mind. I know he didn't do extremely well. I think maybe a little more experience with this type of thing would help him, and I think it would help him in his law enforcement career as well. The ability to do this kind of thing off the cuff rather than having to go through the details of the type of things we're talking about. Because if he has to do this in public, he will have to do it with an auditor who direct D is going to go hunt that bastard down. I mark my words. He's going to end up doing a ride along with this man, and I'm here for it. I'm done. What, nobody? I
Talk
get
the
you.
truth. I'm on the phone. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. I was like, oh, I broke them.
I'm getting coffee. I'll be right back.
Everybody just abandoned me mid rant. What the hell? Truth, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank God. Let's go fishing. Screw these guys. They're on their own world.
Let's do this. I'm down. I am down.
Right.
But I'm not, arguing against anybody on panel. It's just I know that they're not allowed to speak on certain topics. They're not allowed to. They're taking not to do it. And like I said, I already knew whenever I knew that Andrea, that AJ was doing the show tonight, that it would be a lot of unanswered questions going on at the end. I knew it would happen. But at the same time, I also know that they can't talk on certain topics because of retaliation from their police department, their states, their coordinators, and everything like that. So I already know that most of what went on tonight was going to go on tonight. I had that prediction already. That's the reason, and like I said, I wasn't trying to argue against anybody on panel. I may look at things a different way than what everybody else looks at them, but there's a reason I look at things differently than everybody else, because I see it firsthand when I'm out in the field trying to, educate and actually bridge that gap between us and these officers that are out here. But most of them don't care. They're taught the way that they're going to be taught, and they ain't going to go against their departments because of retaliation. Like I said, I predicted this show before it happened tonight about how some of the things would go down in the show. Like I said, I already know because I've talked to several cops, and they tell me straight up that they can't answer certain questions, and They'll say that they disagree on certain things, but in the end, they're not going to be able to talk about it too much.
Right. Well, I mean,
straight out. That's the way I see it.
I had to get my coffee.
I mean, I've noticed it firsthand. So
it's just part of the deal. Like, just like if you worked at Pepsi or if you worked at KFC, you couldn't walk out and talk about the corporation in any old kind of way you want to. You'll be fired the second you walk back in just because you said something. It doesn't matter whether it was good or bad unless the corporation decides it's okay. It's the same thing with the police. Even security firms and stuff have that type of fine print in the contracts. You cannot speak in any way about the organization you are employed by, typically. So the fact that he showed up blows my mind. I'm proud of him on that point.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. You know, I'm glad that he showed up too. You know, and you know, I have nothing against that. But you know, like the question, you know, has he ever stopped another cop from violating somebody's rights? How can he stop somebody if he thinks what the other cops are doing is the right thing? You know what I mean? So it's he like I said, he danced around the questions because, you know, like I said, half the things that they're taught, that's just how they were trained. And, you know, with re-education and, you know, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is very important. And American people has lost track of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. And, you know, I believe it should be discussed every night at the dinner table because that's something that's fading away very quick. And we got to pay attention to that. Just like they were talking also about the, you know, the way that this world is turning out and the way that everybody is viewing things. You know, I believe the next Civil War would be over our gun rights. It would be Second Amendment all the way. I believe that's what our next civil right, you know, that's what I believe our next Civil War is going to be over. And, you know, people got to pay attention because it's a scary world that we're living in.
I hope, I'll be honest, dude. I'm gonna be 100% honest on this one. I hope if a next Civil War happens that it's gun rights that it's about, because if it's the right to travel, we're gonna have much heavier problems than gun rights.
Yeah. Well, I've always joked around with people. I was like, yeah, keep giving your rights away, and pretty soon they're gonna tell us when we can and can't go outside. You know what I mean? And in certain ways, you know, it kind of is dancing closer to that, closer every day. And like I said, these people got to wake up. I mean, I'm so, like I said, I see it firsthand out in the field, and it's, you know, I don't necessarily blame our generation. I'm glad our generation, you know, I'm glad that we're able to wake the people up, that we are waking up, because, you know, people do need to learn their rights. And it's more like, the cops, you know, I'm sure that they see that more and more people are learning their rights, you know, holding back, you know, with as far as like ID refusals and everything like that. And I believe that, you know, that's the way it should be, and it never should have stopped being that way.
The ID refusal is probably the heaviest part of all of this, in my opinion, because that whole papers and effects thing, that Fourth Amendment bit with papers and effects, that includes the ID, even though, and this is one of the arguments I've heard, the state issues the ID, so technically it belongs to the state, and I
bullshit, you pay for it.
You pay for that. You are not paying for permission, you are paying for validation. So the validation is your ID. They're trying to conflate your ID as being you.
Sorry, I'm back.
I am not a piece of plastic, and you can't hold up your fingers like this and get me.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why I really like the way most of the cops operate in Georgia. When they pull you over, they don't do that whole song and dance about give me your ID, registration, where you coming from, where you going, until after they do this song and dance. Hello, good afternoon. My name is such and such. I'm with this particular bureau or whatever, this particular department. And the reason for the stop today is this. And if nothing else, you at least get to hear the reason, at which point in time, most of your concerns about the reason for the stop and whether or not you're presenting ID are answered right there. He has a crime that he suspects you of, and he would like to see your ID. Is it legitimate and legal? we'll see you on the other end of it. But if you're driving down the road and they pull you over, they can see your ID, bro. That's just the way that is.
With the legit stop, they can't just stop random people and ID
That's
them.
what I'm saying, though. They stop us. They say out loud the reason for the stop is, and this blank is filled.
Right. Well, even if it's unlawful at that point, if they could state something, that's where, you know, they always tell you, you know, take it up in court. Don't argue with them on the side of the road.
But that's why I'm saying I really prefer the way the Georgia cops do it. Is they have a rote thing that they go through when they pull you over before they ask for your license. They tell you what they believe you have done.
So let's go into that. So I'll rock with that. Let's go into that a little bit. So the cop pulls you over, right? In Georgia, you know, and he says that oh, I'm pulling you over, Mr. Caucasian Sasquatch, because you look suspicious.
No, sir.
Or let's not even say that. Let's say that he says that you
in a high crime rate area.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, that you crossed the double line, right? So he's going to write you a citation. Now, let's dove into what Truth Be Told said. So is it really something that you should sit on the side of the road and argue about that I didn't or I did?
Nope.
If you filmed it, you got it on dash cam and all that, that's what the court is for. Now, if they pull you out the car and want to search your car and trying to arrest you and trying to have your car towed, that's a whole different ballgame. But I'm saying just on a regular, like when that cop pulled you over, you know,
here's
you
my
was
question.
weaving in the lane.
First of all, am I guilty? Did I possibly sweep into the other lane?
I don't know. Are you?
I'm just saying, you're coming at me with, okay, let's dive into that. But then the first suggestion was suspicious, which isn't a crime. Your second suggestion was
I was trying to make a point. Like, is it worse standing on the side of the road arguing over a dumb traffic ticket? I can see if you're getting arrested, your car's getting towed, they're wanting to search your car. That's a whole different ball game. But over a ticket, don't you just want to go to court with your camera footage and be like, where did I weave? Where's his camera footage?
The opportunity we have.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly the opportunity that this method of introduction gives us, because before they ask you for anything, they have already stated the reason for the stop. You don't have to ask basic questions like name and badge number, where do you work, who's your supervisor, that kind of stuff. All of that is not only on the ticket, but it's part of their initial spiel when they first come up to the car. Good evening, mister, or what the fuck ever they say. Good afternoon, however. The reason my name is such and such, I work for this department. The reason for the stop today is, and if whatever comes out of their mouth after that is bullshit, you can call bullshit, but you still have to go through the motions on the side of the road.
It's just like Brandon just said, you know, courts are part of the punishment. That's why I believe if you do have it on dash cam and you do have to go to court, you know, I believe that some of these officers that write these fictitious tickets should be held in contempt of court. They should be the ones that are punished for people going to court whenever there's proof that the person is actually innocent for the original traffic stop or the infraction to begin with. I believe officers should be punished a lot more for writing these fictitious, you know, tickets in court, because, you know, that is wasting not only your time that you have to take off from work, but also holding up the court's time, the judge's time, the prosecutor's time, the district attorney's time, everybody's time that's in process. That cop should be held in contempt of court for taking somebody to court whenever they know that they're writing a ticket that couldn't hold up in the first place.
I say if there's facts behind that, they know that they was writing a bullshit ticket. I say if there's facts that back that up, yes, I feel you on that.
All right, so here's a question.
But I also feel like people are only human, dude, and people make mistakes. So I'm looking down at my phone or I'm looking over at my CAD computer, right? And then Truth Be Told flies by me in his 2024 Corvette, and and I just happened to look up, and to me, in the dark at 10:30 at night, it may look like he swerved and went over the lane. So I'm gonna pull him over. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know?
But the cops shouldn't be doing that in the first place. That is overstepping their boundaries as far as what their job is. Did you witness that person doing that? If you didn't,
He might have thought he did, though. He might. That's what I'm
But
saying.
you
He might
thought,
have
but
thought
see,
he
you're
did.
using the word. You're
But
using the word.
wait. So you
Wait.
started off way wrong, Toe. I mean,
I was bumping him up. I was trying to make him look good that he had a 2024 Corvette. You know what I mean?
no, that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even what I'm talking about. But you started it off with, you don't know. They could be sitting there watching their phone, looking at their phone, whatever. They
I
look
said they're
up.
CAD. I said they're CAD. They're computer.
Okay, well,
thing.
okay, right, and they glance up and see somebody flying, and they think they might have saw him. No, that just, you either saw him cross the line
Or you
or you
didn't.
didn't. But if you're not paying attention because you're looking at your CAD, you can't, because you think in reality from your statement, it sounds
I'll
like
take that.
you being the officer might have thought that Corvette was flying too fast, but you weren't taking radar. So you're going to find something else to try to pull him over for. That's how I just saw that.
So I'll take that. But and for people that say that, or like what truth, I'll take what you said, because there was a variable that maybe I did, maybe I did. But I was going to take that a little bit further, and because I'm a realist, I was going to take it to the point that, have you ever been in your house by yourself at night, in the middle of the night, and be looking at something else, and out the corner of your eye, you think you see someone walk by?
But again, you think,
But I'm just saying,
there's no proof.
Exactly.
There's no proof. Let's use Truth Be Told's late, or I don't know if it was his latest. It might be a couple back, but he just went to court for it. The one where where he flaked off an officer, and the officer got butthurt and decided to pull him over, and stated that he was stopped in the middle of the road. Right? You can continue, Truth Be Told, and tell him what happened.
And you know what? I think, truth be told, was driving straight in that Corvette. But
yeah,
I might have, out the corner of my eye, seen him swerve a little bit, but that's just because he got swag like that, and it's all good, baby.
Okay. So no.
And no, America 101, I don't hate all cops. I have talked to several cops, but at the same time, the cops that I thought were legit, I thought were actually standing up for people's rights, have actually stood back and let, the cops that I thought were good. There was a couple of them here in Denham Springs that I thought were good. I've had normal conversations with. I've walked up on cop stops. They didn't say nothing. They actually, let me stand there and film as close as I want because they knew who I was. Okay. It wasn't even 2 weeks later, not even 2 weeks later, another cop had stopped me here, and he was the one that I thought was a good cop, was there on that traffic stop as a backup officer. He arrived second in person that had pulled me over. He stood back and let that cop violate 4 of my different amendments and didn't say nothing to that cop. So it's not that I don't hate all cops, but at the same time, I've seen cops personally let other cops violate people's rights and not stand up for what people's rights are, and say, well, I'm just a backup officer. I don't care if you're a backup officer. You should do the right thing. And like I said, I've seen good cops actually, turn a blind eye to the bad cops because they are scared of retaliation from their department. So I've seen firsthand that they're not going to go against what their other officers are doing. It's just not going to happen. That's why you always hear people talk about that there are no good cops. I've seen that scenario play out right in front of me, and the other cop not do nothing about the cop that's violating my rights. So it's not that I hate all cops, but I've seen too many situations, and it's happened firsthand to me. I've seen it, that they're not going to go against, and that's not what we need. We need the cops that will stand up against the other cops. This is total BS. So you can say I hate cops all you want to, but I don't hate all cops. But at the same time, the good cops are not doing their jobs right, which makes the bad cops stand out worse than in the first place and what they should have had in the first place. So I don't hate all cops. No, that is not necessarily true. I have state troopers that live in my neighborhood. One just retired after 30 years, you know, but at the same time, I was out talking to him in my street, and he still didn't know that you couldn't ID everybody. He thought that you could still ID everybody that's in a vehicle. After 30 years, he still didn't know this. He still, well, yeah, if you don't give me my ID and you're a passenger in a car, even that you committed no crime, that I can still get your ID. That shows 30 years down the drain of still not knowing people's rights. That's pretty bad. I see it firsthand. It's different when you're out in the field and you see it firsthand compared to, you know, and then not only that, there's hundreds of thousands of videos to prove what I'm saying over and over and over again, and they'll never stop. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. Like I said, I might have a different opinion, but I've seen stuff. I've noticed stuff, and you know, it's irritating to think that all auditors are against cops. No, we're out there. We want them to do their jobs right. That's one of the main purposes that we're out there, to see how they're going to react to the situation. Just like when I flipped that cop off, how are you going to handle the situation? Are you going to realize it's freedom of speech? Or are you going to write me a BS ticket and dismiss it a month later, and then a month after that didn't even have to show up to court? I mean, come on.
I'm so sorry,
it's
Awakened.
bullshit what they're doing. It's bullshit what they're doing. I don't care what anybody's got to say. It's just it's horrible to watch it. It's horrible to watch.
Welcome in, Tiffany.
It's yeah. Sorry, it's just the way I feel. It's what I've seen. It's what I've seen firsthand. And I just got everybody quiet. That's great.
That's because you took over.
It makes people think, though. What I'm saying is the total truth. That's the reason I name it.
So I sit here and I ponder everything that you said, right? And what I'm thinking, and what runs through my little measly 2-cent mind is it's almost like you know, how do I want to say this without hurting people's butt and have to bust out the butt or cream. And everybody has a right to their opinion. I get it. There you go. But like, if you feel like I know how you said, I don't hate all cops, but then when the good cops do this and this and this and this and this, so it's almost like racism. How they talk about racism is like you're pulling everybody together. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Right. Some of the stuff you say.
Come on. I want to hear your thought process on it.
Let him cook.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that I'm going both directions. I've seen cops that I thought were good and doing the right thing and standing up for people's rights turn around and they're the ones that flip the script and do opposite of what you thought that they were about.
But every cop that you thought was a good cop, you've seen them do that. Everyone. Every last one.
I've only had experience with 2 cops that didn't try to violate my rights. So yes, I have personally seen it. Yes.
You've only had 2 instances in your whole life that cops didn't disrespect you or try to violate your rights.
Correct. And then the other ones played it off later on in life.
I don't know. Look, man, I'm a past criminal.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, I'm about to whip somebody's ass.
Anyways,
your ass saved. Just take me in and walk away.
But look, man, everybody they talk about how they had all these interactions with cops. You know what I mean? Like, look, man, I grew up in the hood, dude. I grew up in a real bad city. And AJ could be one that attests to that. I've had many run-ins with the police, many. And I can honestly say that in my run-ins with the police, other than when I've had a camera in my hand, I ran into probably at least 25 cops that I thought were decent cops that didn't try to violate my rights, even though I didn't know what my rights were at the point, but now I know. And I looked back and they didn't try to violate my right. Dude, I've been arrested without handcuffs. I was in the back of a cop car with my arm on the back of the seat. When I got to the jail, the cop said, "Hey, man, I'm going to have to put these handcuffs on you because it's our policy. I'll put them on the front."
So that was simply officer discretion.
But yeah, but he didn't violate my rights. He didn't try to violate
even
my
if
rights.
you would have been in cuffs, though. I mean, the cuffs don't make it violate rights and not violate rights.
I was making that as oh, Jesus. See, you done screwed me up.
What's up, Firm?
You do that shit to me all the
time. What's up, Firm?
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to get people to understand where you're coming from.
You got to.
I think that is a failed attempt at the universe. You will have to back up and restart. Toe, you're speaking gibberish. Stop it.
Exactly. I'd same thing, Brandon. Actually, within the last 10 years, I had a cop do that to me here in Texas.
Right, but as our last film, we saw, Live PD, they could have let that guy go, but no, they decided to, because it was Live PD, you know what I mean? Let him walk away. But tow his truck, tow his means of making money to pay that supposed, or alleged suspended license because the guy said he already paid it. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Right. But, and they watched him put his stuff out on the curb and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
That depends on if the cop feels like you're a threat or not as far as putting cuffs on you. But and AJOT's right. It is officer discretion. They could let a lot of these people. I've seen a lot of people, be free from traffic stops with the citation. Like in Texas, any traffic violation is arrestable. Any one of them. They could take you to jail. But look how many tickets they write in the state of Texas. That they could be taking every single one of these people to go, but they decide to write a ticket instead. It is officer discretion.
I'm ready when you're ready, Awakened. I would love the honor to tell your story.
I do definitely believe that there's a lot of bad cops out there. A lot. I won't go as far as AJOT went earlier on the stream. I said 80-20.
80 bad, 20 good?
Yes.
I mean, like I said,
had a different experience than what I've had.
In the whole U.S. I'm talking the U.S. as a whole, 80-20.
Okay, Louisiana is 96.4% from what I've seen out here. Firsthand.
Okay. I'm not denying that. And the 4% that
I've watched the videos doing the right thing, have turned around and let other cops violate other people's rights. We need officers to stand up against the bad ones, and that I think is one of the biggest problems that we have with policing in the United States.
But those who have gotten reprimanded in one way or another, and that's.
And I believe that needs to be pushed. If they do the right thing, they need to be reprimanded on it.
Agree. You know what I mean? But we have to stop that from happening. But I mean, that's not going to happen until it's all, fixed. I mean, you can't have good ones reporting bad ones because bad ones overpopulate the good ones. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, it all goes back to training. You know what I mean? Training.
100%.
Because that training and repetitious of training, you know what I mean, will eventually delete those. We all grow up making. Oh, what am I trying to say?
Here.
I forget how I'm not trying to. Yeah, whatever. I lost it.
Now that right there, that right there, that quote that Lady Di put, that's 100% correct because and they'll tell you that they don't have a quota, but then they do DUI stops and DUI checkpoints and stuff because they get grant money to do it. So that is a quota. They need to make a quota to get that grant money. Just saying.
But when they do that, they violate people's rights. The Constitution clearly says they can't stop your freedom.
Right. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying that's that's how you can always bust them when they say, "Oh, we don't have a quota." Yeah, you do.
Okay, hold up. So Awakened, I hear you, and I have always, since the day I met you, send prayers for your daughter's death. But there's so much to tell and so much to get out there, and I want people to hear your story because it's another light in a different way where the corruption is. So when you're ready and you feel that you're ready, just get with me. And I can have Crystal, I can have Queen Kaylin here, and we can all be there for you to tell your story because I get it. I understand. Anyway, go ahead.
And by the way, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks, guys. I'm only saying that because I see U-Haul said Trump speaking very slowly must be gun shy. I forgot, there's all kinds of other things going on, but we've held a lot, a pretty decent number in here for a long time, and I'm just appreciating everybody for being here and listening to us chit chat. And the panel's open.
It's pinned in my chat. It's pinned.
Yeah, the StreamYard link is pinned if you want to come up and say hi or jump into conversation. Come on in.
Edwina, thank you again. And yes, I'm going to try to have a part 2 and be more prepared. And I think Edwina will definitely help me out. So
what? They said Biden stepped down. Really?
Yeah, that's what Blue Unicorn, maybe? I forget who said it when we first came in or started. But yeah.
No shit.
Somebody else said it in the very beginning. And Caucasian was looking into it, but never said anything.
Caucasians
you all suck equally. What? Stop talking to me. What are you talking about?
Caucasian reminds me of like he reminds me of, and I hate to say the guy's name because he might pop around, but he reminds me of ASMR. Like he be off on somebody else's panel while he's on our panel and shit.
Oh, come on. I ain't no ass smear, man. I quit those ways, remember?
Just saying.
Yeah, I did see that he had COVID. That's why he didn't do his speech or whatever. It was on CNN and Fox.
I mean, did he step down out of the race or did he step down as president?
Well, I mean, if he stepped down as president, wouldn't that make him step down as in the race? I mean,
no. I mean,
necessarily.
No. I mean, if the Dems still backed him, I mean, he could still run it for president again. But I mean, I don't know why.
U-Haul says, I think it's the painkillers making him speak softly.
Trump's high is what you're trying to say is Trump's high.
Did you hear the leak? Since we're talking about this, might as well, whatever, current events, right? Did you hear about the leak between Trump and JFK Jr.?
No.
He was trying to get him to tap out of the race and, bid for him or whatever. But anyway, it was a personal conversation that got recorded, and I believe it was JFK Jr.'s son that actually put out the taping of the conversation. But yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, I don't, unless he was trying to like threaten him or something like that.
No, it's not threatening or blackmailing. He was just trying to convince him to drop out of the race, because if Biden's not there, that's gonna be his. If there's nobody worthy to step into the Democrats' place, right, then the next person he'd need to be concerned with would be JFK Jr. Although many people don't hear about him, you know what I mean? That's the third party that's going to be on the ticket as of right now.
Hey, I'm going to say it, but just remember, everybody, that I said this. So if something happens to me, you know what happened. But if Biden steps down, man, Hillary Clinton will be, she can run again.
Oh my God. Bitch, I'm going to put you in the trunk and then continue to help look for you. I'm just saying.
That reminds me of a junkie I once hung out with. My man stole my wallet, spent 3 hours helping me look for it.
Look, that reminds me of a story, and this sucks because you just brought that up, but it's seriously, it reminds me of a story. I know a junkie. He just passed away last week, and I remember him went out and got all screwed up on dope and left his wallet. We all worked together, and he left his wallet at the shop, specifically in a spot where he could go back and find it so he could tell the boss that someone stole all his money. But it was him went out and got all messed up.
So Brandon put in chat a thing for Axios or whatever. It's talking behind the curtain. Top Dems now believe Biden will exit, and says that he could possibly exit by this weekend. That's what this says. But.
Oh yeah, I don't think he said he wasn't going to, though. He said after that debate, he specifically came out and had a press conference and said, no, he's not stepping down. He's running for president again.
It's been back and forth, and it's going to continue being back and forth.
Well, I mean, people are saying that because the Dems want him to, because they know he ain't got a snowball's chance in hell.
I mean,
especially
bye, Caucasian deuces.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, Trump's attempted assassination, and now Biden has COVID. I'm just saying that could be an attempted assassination.
There's Caucasian.
On an old man.
I pushed the wrong button.
Really?
I did. I did that thing that I fuss at other people for doing.
He said, I did that thing.
I did the thing, man. I feel so embarrassed. There's so much cringe. You see it swirling around me.
Yeah. So I got a question for you real quick, Caucasian. And I know I could have asked this outside of the live stream, but I'm just going to ask it because we're live and I don't give a shit. But can't you, with OBS, couldn't you have brought William Downey in to your OBS, and then he could have heard everybody, like heard you on panel?
Maybe. It depends on where I'm sourcing it from. OBS doesn't do guests well. The problem would have been that I would have had to have muted myself.
But it wouldn't have been a guest. It wouldn't have been a guest, though. He would have been on a voice call, a Google voice call.
True, but OBS works very similar to the way StreamYard works. So when I shared the window into OBS, it would have duplicated the sound, so the sound would have been logged into my hard drive, into my motherboard twice. And it would have generated an echo there because it would have had to go through OBS and back to StreamYards to get back out.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? You remember back when you were trying to do your call-in stuff and you kept having that weird echo crap happening? No. That you never could quite. That's what it is you're duplicating sound in your hard drive, in your desktop, or your sound thing in your keyboard, You freaking duplicate that, and you can't dig that echo out of the signal because it's part of the signal.
Oh, man.
So maybe, but if I did, only he would have been able to speak. I would have been his carrier. I would have been able to talk over him, or anytime I spoke, it would have come out with a lot of echoes and stuff when I talked. So I could have muted my mic and just run him as the main channel.
Edwina's an AJOT junkie. Woohoo!
And by the way, with AJOT saying thanks to everybody, I'm gonna do a little bit of e-begging. If you like what AJOT does, why don't y'all go ahead and hit up her Cash App, because we do have a baby and she's growing fast and clothes are getting expensive. Just saying.
Guys, she's gonna be a year old next weekend. A year old.
Dang, time is passing by quick.
And Daddy's big girl.
Duke, sounds good. I'll be waiting. Hey, any word on the gag order?
Maybe that's what he's calling about. Ooh.
Well, he has some thoughts to share. I think it's more on how I could do a better job next time, and I'm all ears,
And by the way, I'm working on a project for Justice for Life for me and AJOT, so keep your ears to the grind, but this is going to be a doozy.
It's lifted. Woo-hoo! Okay, sorry. So, coming soon to AJOT channel near you, we are going to have a discussion about all of those mass graves that were found in Mississippi behind the jail with somebody who was right there.
That's good.
Right there. Okay, I'm so excited.
Front lines, baby.
Front line. I'm always just myself. I can't do anything other than that.
But yeah, we got some things coming down the pipeline, man. It's gonna be good stuff.
Yes, Todd. Yes, I've known you for quite some time. What? Masquerades.
Where's
What's up,
Fat
Bad Daddy? Oh, I missed him.
Daddy.
Oh, yeah, he snuck in here talking about speaking of ass,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an AJOT flunky.
And for all you guys that I know, you guys already know, but I'm going to do a shameless plug for AJOT and Caucasian Sasquatch. Go check them out. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. Naughty AJOT.
Naughty Corner.
Oh, is that what is it? Naughty Corner?
Welcome to the Naughty Corner. Amira screamed at me. I need to go get that clip of that chick throwing that shoe like 700 yards and hitting that dude in the back of the head.
Right. Anyway, y'all been great. Everybody on panel, thank you for coming up. But it's that time. It's been a little over 2 hours. And yeah.
We appreciate you having us.
Over there.
So go ahead, do your little.
He's the next one I'm going to knock up.
You want me to do it?
Well, I mean, I'll hit the thing, but do your little whatever.
All right, y'all. Here we go. You know how we do it. Thanks to everybody for coming out, supporting your girl, AJOT, my girl. I am Toe for Life. That's my boy, Caucasian Sasquatch. My other dude, Truth Be Told, Audits. AJOT, we love you. You did a great job. And we out this bitch. Toodles, y'all.